Sports 630 KIDO, KIDOAM.com. Terry Ford Show. That's Stan Van Gundy, head coach in Orlando. A weird weekend in the NBA. It was best. I think it's the best NBA playoff weekend I can remember. I mean, even, where the underdog didn't win, they scared the crap out of the favorite. Let's talk about it with our buddy Kevin Burke from HoopDoctors.com. Hey, pal. What's going on?
What's going on, man? Yeah, it was a great weekend. It was almost like the NCAA's opening weekend, huh?
Yeah, and here's a funny thing about it. Everyone's talking about it like it is the NCAA's. Last time I checked, Kev, it's not a best of one.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone complains that the playoffs are too long, but, you know what? We're going to find out who's the best team because these playoffs really weed out the lesser competition.
Too, Kevin, when you look at the weekend, first of all, Orlando. Atlanta, in one game they look great, and then they don't try for 3 weeks. Atlanta's Atlanta. Before it's all said and done, Orlando will find a way to beat Atlanta because the Hawks, I've never seen a team that's got more personalities, and I just don't buy into the Hawks. So I figure Orlando will win. Just like, look, to me, all New Orleans did was wake up the Lakers. That's all they did. I mean, the Lakers, what do you think? Halfway tried?
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. They're still backpedaling. I'm not going to lie, I was kind of shocked by that. They just seemed like a rather easy win. Chris Paul had his way. Chris Paul, I thought he kind of fell off the map because of his knee injury last year. Derrick Rose's emergence, Russell Westbrook's emergence. That game yesterday was like, hey, you remember me? I'm on a national stage. I got a national game finally, the first time all year probably. Remember me? I'm still pretty good. And he just had his way. It was a Chris Paul of old. Yeah, I'm not too worried. I thought the Lakers would have swept that series. I'm surprised that they lost the way they did. But yeah, I'm not. If I'm a Laker fan, I'm not too worried. They are going to win the series. It probably just woke him up. He's going to go in the huddle and yell at his guys in practice and stuff like that. And yeah, don't get too concerned about that. I think the Lakers definitely will got to win that series comfortably. Absolutely.
Well, didn't the New Orleans like the bench shoot 72% or something crazy like that? And Pau Gasol was awful. Before everybody gets all geeked up, just one game. I'll tell you this: I still think San Antonio is going to win because Ginobili will be back, but I think Memphis is going to put more of a scare into San Antonio than New Orleans puts into L.A. because God love Tim Duncan. He's turning 50 next week. San Antonio has a lot of trouble with Zach Randolph and Marc Gasol, and I think that's going to prolong this series and make it tougher for San Antonio than a lot of people thought.
Zach Randolph is probably 6'9".
Yeah.
This guy does not jump. He literally does not jump. How does he grab 12 rebounds a game? Has he ever dunked? You want to talk about somebody who's just effective and efficient around the basket, who I guess is a poster child for athleticism being overrated. Sometimes it can be overrated, especially in basketball. He just re-upped today, 4 years, 71.
How about that?
Yeah, I think he's deserving. I think he's deserving of that. He flies under the radar because he doesn't play above the rim. He's a big guy who doesn't play above the ring. I wrote about that today on the HoopDoctors.com. I think he's deserving, but I think if Rudy, that win. I did pick the Spurs in 7. I did a first round prediction every series on the HoopDoctors.com. I did pick the Spurs in 7, but if Rudy Gay was healthy, I might have had a different pick on that. Ginobili was out too. That had a lot to do with why the Spurs lost that game. But the Grizzlies have lost every playoff game since they've been in the league. They were swept 3 years in a row. It was bound to happen that they were going to win the playoff game, but they are really, really going to scare the Spurs. You're absolutely right. Even when Ginobili's back, his elbow bent completely the wrong way. I'm not sure how effective he will be. Granted, it was his non-shooting right arm, but still, that's got to be sore now. If he does play in Game 2, how effective will he be? They're going to give him the scare of their life. I think if Rudy Gay was there, the Grizzlies would probably win the series. Absolutely.
Hey, those Grizzlies beat the Kentucky Colonels, dude. Hey! Don't they won a playoff game back in 1975 or whatever it was?
Sorry, I missed that. Yes.
Yeah, come on, man. anyway, the thing too about this whole thing with San Antonio and Memphis, it's quite interesting. In the last 51 games, those two teams have identical records at 33-18. I read that this morning, and I went, huh? I didn't know that.
No, wow. That's news to me as well. I thought the Grizzlies, if they played in the East, the Grizzlies, they'd probably be like a 5 seed maybe. Of course, they're out there in the West, so they barely just made it.
Right.
It's like night and day, with these playoffs. Like last year, every team in the West every single team in the West last year won 50 games. The Thunder were number 8. They would have been number 3 in the East had they been in the East last. But I mean, literally. But I mean, yeah, it's night and day. Well, I didn't know that stat either. 33 and 18. That's interesting. So they probably are more, they're probably more evenly matched than their name on the front of the jersey gives it credit for. But I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right. The Grizzlies are bigger. With Randolph and Gasol. Gasol's not too bad. He's always going to be Powell's younger brother, but the guy can play. I mean, he can certainly play, he's making a name for himself.
Dude, he's a moose. He's a moose.
He's
like a Bigfoot. He's not
the most. Yeah, him and Zach. They're not the most finesse guys.
No.
They're kind of just. They're big. They're heavy-footed guys.
That's a nice way to put it. That's a nice way to put it.
It'll be a tough series, though, definitely.
Well, I tell you what, I'm looking at Zach Randolph. He could be a stunt double for Martin Lawrence in those Mama's movies, those Big Mama movies. There's no doubt.
You're probably right. And I'm a big Martin Lawrence fan, but you're absolutely right.
Kevin Burke, HoopDoctors.com, and Sports 630 KIDO, KIDOM.com, Terry Ford Show. And I'm going to say this, too. You're Knicks, dude. You're Knicks. Look, don't get me wrong. Ray Allen, just, he's made money shots over his career. You give Ray Allen any space at the three-point line in a close game, he can dagger you. But will you tell me why? Did the Knicks get in a huddle and Coach D'Antoni said, okay, Amari, you're killing them. You can't have the ball anymore. Melo, it's your turn. I mean, Amari Stoudemire would have had the ball every time down the court in the last 2 or 3 minutes because the Celtics couldn't do anything with him. And he didn't touch it in the last 7 trips. Help me.
I'm not sure how much time do I left in this podcast. I can kill the rest of your weekly shows. I mean, man. I mean, where to begin? I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Amari, 28 points. Carmelo, 15 points. Carmelo he shot way too many three-pointers in the game yesterday. Yep. I mean, he shoots 5 threes per game as a member of the Knicks versus 2.5 when he was a member of the Nuggets. Yep. Now, D'Antoni's system, yes, shoot first, ask questions last, but to double your three-point production, I mean, the system has to be tweaked a little bit. And Amari you hit it right on the head. He did whatever he wanted. Jermaine O'Neal, have some of this. KG, you can have some of this as well. It didn't really matter. And, Ray Allen hits the three-pointer, yes, but I mean, how do you not call that moving screen on KG? He almost ended Tony Douglas's life there. I mean, seriously, can we call a moving screen on there? And then even a couple of plays before where Carmelo was kind of clearing space on Paul Pierce.
That was a bad call.
He kind of fended off. But Paul Pierce wants to win an Oscar. He wants to win an Oscar.
That was a bad call.
The guy is an excellent actor. Yes,
it was a bad call.
You shouldn't swallow the wit. Come on, this is a playoff.
Kevin, where was that game? Where was that game, my friend?
Yeah, it was up in Deep.
You know how it goes. If that game's in the Garden, Melo could have picked up Paul Pierce and suplexed him, and there wouldn't have been a call.
It's not even as if he gained an advantage because he didn't even have. I mean, it's not as if it's not as if he actually got an extra step because of that. Nothing happened as a result of that. It was just Paul Pierce being Paul Pierce and doing what he does. But Melo, absolutely inexplicable that he doesn't give the ball to Amari. But even on the 3-point attempt that went awry. He sees Rondo leave Tony Douglas at the top of the key, leaves him. No one rotates over to Douglas. He's wide open at the top of the key, and he still elects to shoot the ball. Even if Rondo doesn't rotate over, he can get by Ray Allen off the dribble. I mean, seriously, he did what Wilson Chandler or Danilo Gallinari would have done, which is why the Knicks traded him away.
Right.
So the guy to actually, take a sound shot. Why Amari didn't get the ball 7 trips, like you said?
Oh, unbelievable.
You got me. I have no idea. That goes to maybe the chemistry issue, the Carmelo and the Amari dynamic. They got something to figure out, definitely.
No doubt. Kevin Burke, HoopDoctors.com, Sports 630 KIDO, KIDOM.com, Terry Ford Show. Also, you look at last night's game was entertaining as all get out with Oklahoma City and Denver. I'm telling you, they got both squads together at midcourt, and the referee said, okay, no one plays defense tonight. No one. But here's my thing at the end of that game. First of all, we all know that was offensive goaltending. Even the league said, by the way, we screwed that up. And I'm George Karl. Okay, do we get the win then? Don't tell me. If I don't get the win, who cares? I know you screwed it up. You know you screwed it up. Big deal.
Yeah.
But at the end of that game, and as much as I like George Karl, and I think there are legitimate Coach of the Year votes for George Karl for what he went through this year and how that team performed. But I'll say this. What is it about a George Karl coach team, and maybe because they're so freewheeling in how they play, that someone always takes bad shots at the end of big games? Kenyon Martin, brother, don't take a 23-foot jumper. And Raymond Felton, it's a 3-point game. It doesn't mean you have to shoot a 3 with 22 seconds left. Go to the basket, get a layup, foul a guy, extend the game. What is it about George Karl coach teams? As much as I like Karl, they always seem to do goofy stuff at the end of big contests.
Yeah, they usually have big personalities like a Carmelo or something like that, a Kenyon Martin. But I think even more so with this team, since they traded away Melo, they don't have a go-to guy.
Yep.
They don't have a go-to guy in the clutch, a superstar. Kenyon Martin certainly isn't it. I don't think Kenyon Martin should. There should never be a play drawn up for Kenyon Martin on the offensive side of the floor. Never. He just doesn't. That's just not his game. But there's no super. Who on the Nuggets roster? They're all good. They're all kind of mid-tier players who do the same exact thing. The same J.R. Smith, Wilson Chandler, Danilo Gallinari, Aaron Aflalo, who was out. They all do the same exact thing. So I'm not sure who you're going to draw up a play for, but yeah, I mean Raymond fell into his hands are tied because they're a good, scrappy team, but they don't have a go-to guy. That's kind of where they missed Carmelo. But in the same breath, when you go to Carmelo, the ball kind of stops and everyone kind of stands around and looks at him. So it's kind of a catch-22. He just had weird rosters where there's not a go-to guy who kind of, I guess, makes other guys better, which is kind of why you don't like Carmelo, I know. But, you know, I don't know. But when you listen to Karl in the huddles, it sounds like, you know, it feels like I'm in the huddle listening to him. I don't want to go out there and make the right play, you know, take the right shot. He just seems like a great motivator. Same thing with Doc Rivers. When you hear Doc Rivers in the huddle, although it sounds like he needs like a Stu Kretsch or something to clear that up.
I know. It's so funny.
Aside from that, but no, he just seems like a great motivator. He's been on the wrong end of whatever since he started coaching as George Karl.
Well, I'll tell you what, my go-to man is Birdman Anderson, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Love that hair. Any man who's almost covered his entire body in ats, hey.
That alone is impressive. He should win some sort of award for that.
And when you're getting your shot blocked by a guy with more bling in his face than like Little John, I mean, come on. I love the Birdman. Love that hair. Anyway.
If nothing else, he would intimidate the heck out of me on the court. Seriously.
Did you see go to a pickup game and that cat's guarding you? Yeah, I'm with you. I ain't doing anything to make him mad.
That guy looks crazy. I've been dying to hear an interview with him. I'm not sure what he sounds like.
I don't either. I think they're scared. They're scared. You're pulling a shiv. All right, we're talking Kevin Burke, HoopDoctors.com and Sports630 KIDO, KIDO.com. All right, last two games over the weekend, last two series. Obviously, Chicago with Derrick Rose. Derrick said, okay, guys, I'll take this thing over. Give me the ball and get the hell out of the way. Chicago comes back and beats Indiana. And, first of all, we got to give Derrick Rose props. Kyle Korver, obviously hits the big three, needs to shave, take a shower. But one other thing, though, is Carlos Boozer. Dude, you have to actually get within 15 feet of Tyler Hansborough. I mean, Chicago on defense in that game was kind of baffling to me. That it was almost like, like when you play a pickup game and you think nobody can shoot, you give them like 10 feet. Go ahead, dude. Okay, you hit one.
Yeah.
All right, you hit 12. Now I'll start guarding you sooner or later. It was weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Boozer, pre-Chicago Bulls, Carlos Boozer, it was a subpar defender. I think you saw in stretches of that game the old Carlos Boozer, because he's in this new Tom Thibodeau #1 defensive system.
Right. He's
kind of been masked. He looks better than he actually is in a one-on-one defensive situation, and that kind of reared its head in that game. But the Bulls need to watch out. I mean, this game is set to tip off another hour or so. They got to watch out. I mean, granted, the Pacers played exceptionally well. They played well, but you're not going to get 39 out of Derrick Rose every night. And if that's your recipe for success, then you're going to go down as a #1 seed to an 8 seed. I think also that, coupled with the fact that maybe the Bulls looked at the, who was their opponent and said, hey, they're an 8 seed, we're the #1 team, we won 62 games. Maybe they played down to the competition a bit. But I think they have their hands full because the Pacers showed that, in fact, the Pacers and the Bulls played the last about a week and a half before the season ended, and the Pacers beat them. So, I mean, to show that they can beat them, they can play with them, it's going to be a tough series. I said Bulls in 5. I've got to rethink that now. It may go longer than that. And I do think the Pacers will win tonight and steal home court and make it a very interesting series.
And the last game, obviously, Miami-Philadelphia. I mean, again, Philly scrappy. Crazy Doug Collins is the coach. They're going to hang in with you. Miami, Miami's just Miami. And everybody's going to criticize them if they don't win every game by 30 or 40. But Philly, they might not have the most skilled cats in the world, but they're going to fight you till the end. And in this series, I took Miami in 9. So, I mean, I don't think we can be surprised that Miami hangs with Phil. I mean, Philly hangs with Miami.
No, that's hilarious. I said Miami in 6. You're right. If the Heat lose tonight, they're gonna. And if they lose bad, the way the first game actually looked like it was headed,
right.
If they lose by say 15, they're gonna start talking, and the Heat are gonna do what the Heat have done all year. They're gonna go up to the podium, and Dwayne Wade's gonna say, "Oh, the world is now a better place because the Heat are losing."
Right.
That's what they want you to say. Shut up. I mean, don't say that. That could, then they're gonna write about that the next day. You're gonna read that, and that affects your play. I mean, they're just such a mentally fragile team like I've never seen before. If they suffer a tough loss, it's going to just reverberate more because of the backlash in the media, and then they're going to actually lose another game as a result of that. So I mean, they're clearly the most talented team. If they can just somehow avoid what happened in Game 1 or what was potentially on the verge of happening in Game 1, they should be all set. But I mean, Dwayne Wade's got to stop with this, these headaches and. Just put on your Reggie Miller goggles and let's go. So, I mean, seriously. So, if they can avoid a crazy, fluke loss, they should be all set.
Kevin Burke, HoopDoctors.com. We'll catch back up with you soon, bro. Always enjoy it. Thanks, man.
Sounds good.
We'll see you, buddy.
Thanks.
All right. Sports 630 KIDO, KIDOAM.com. Terry Ford Show.